Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Your Florida Electrician. Today we're going to be doing some boxing out. What's boxing out? We have an 800 square foot addition, and somebody has to put outlets somewhere, right? Smoke detectors, outlets for the TV, internet, things like that. I'm going to show you how we do the boxing out and why we do it the way we do it. Let's get right into the video. So here's the electrical plan. It shows outlets. All these outlets, recess cans, smoke detectors, that's what these mean. There's usually symbols somewhere on the side of what everything means. Is the legend. Okay, electrical symbols, tells you what it is, half-hots and so on and so on. As far as the electrical outlets, usually the spacing is, the requirement is within 6 feet of a break in the wall, which would be a door. Most likely a door, sometimes a fireplace or something like that. So we got to have a receptacle within 6 feet, and then the next one has to be within 12 feet. And the reason behind that, I believe, is because a lot of floor lamps will have a 6-foot cord. So if you put the floor lamp here, it'll reach this one. If you put it over here, it'll reach this one. If you put it right in the middle, it should reach both. I believe that's the reasoning behind it. So what I'd like to do is mark out for these outlets, for this big room, and then for this bedroom here, mark out for these outlets. I can always put more, but the minimum is 6 foot from the break in the wall. And if this is more than 2 feet, it needs one, but it's a pocket door. I can't physically put one in there because it'll stick into the wall, so it's a pocket door. But if there's a space that's more than 2 feet, I need to have one, required. So let's go ahead and mark this place out. So when we're boxing out, what we're talking about is boxes for your electrical outlets and other boxes sometimes for a light box. This could be for a smoke detector. It's round. You could use a rectangular one as well. But if we're going to be boxing out, we need to have a measurement. How high do we want these outlets off the floor, right? We want them all to be consistent. So normally what I do is try to do like 18 inches off the floor. And for the other outlets, probably about 48 inches or 46 to the top of the box. So instead of running around and measuring every single box where I'm going to put it with the tape measure, we're going to make a little cheat stick here. Then I'm going to put my measurements on here, and then we'll mark the wall. We'll carry this with us. So it'll be the same all the time. We don't need the tape measure. Okay, so I got this, we call it a furring strip on site. This was kicking around on the job. You can usually find it on the job. So a regular piece of stick that's straight like this would work. So what I want to do is measure to the bottom. I want to measure 18 inches. 18 inches is going to be the height of the top of my electrical boxes. Off the floor, off the finished floor. So my electrical boxes going around the room are going to be 18 inches. Okay, and I can write this on here just to remind me, 18. And then the next height I want is going to be 48. So I want to measure up to 48 and do the same thing. These are going to be outlet boxes that are over the vanity, the ones that are up higher in the kitchen. So we won't be using this one too much. And if I hang a TV on the wall, it's going to be even higher. It'll probably be more along the lines of 75 to 80 inches. So this one I'm going to write 48. Okay, and these are my lines that I want to mark to. I'm going to carry this line around the side. And it's easier just having one stick that's marked already, instead of keep breaking out the tape measure, especially if you have 100 outlets that you got to put up. It's just way easier to mark them this way. But we still have to measure around the room for our outlets. Okay, so anything that's more than 2 feet, it's required to have an outlet. Even though this is behind the door, I have 34 inches here. The door swing is going to go this way. It's going to hide the outlet, but because it's over 2 feet span, it's required by the code. I need to have an outlet there, so I'm going to grab my stick. We want that 18 inches. Of course, we have to mount it. We have to mount it to the studs. So I don't want to put the stick here because it's going to be off all the way around. I want to put it on the floor and then mark my height right here. There's a line, and if you have a helper, we normally put like an arrow. We make an arrow out of it, so they know to put the outlet on that side of the stud. So that symbol means receptacle. So normally the lead person goes around, they'll make these marks all over the place, and after I make the mark, the helper will come and throw a box over there, get all the boxes laid out, and then we'll both go around and hang all the boxes. But that's required there. So for the rest of this room, this is the doorway. You may need to back up a little bit. Within 6 feet of a break in the wall. This is considered a break in the wall. This is wall space outlets, okay? So we got to have another one within 6 feet. Okay, so here's my 6 foot measurement. I can't put one here. This is 7 feet, but I can definitely put one here. Because this addition is my house, I can always put more outlets. But if you're a contractor, you want to put only what's required. So I would mark, as a contractor, I would just kind of mark right here, arrow, because I know I have to have one here. And if I'm trying to get as few outlets as possible, I'm going to start over here now and see if I got 6 feet from here. So I got 3 inches from there. 4. Not quite. 6 feet falls right here. If it made it over to here 6 feet, I could get away with one outlet on the wall right there. But because it doesn't work out, I would have to have a minimum of 2 outlets here. And I can place those anywhere in this wall, as long as they're within 12 feet of each other. So I would probably put one over here. You're trying to think, where would I put furniture? Where would I put my TV? Where would I do this? Where would I do that? Where would I like to have an outlet? I would definitely put one here and probably one over there. And most likely a TV outlet up here somewhere or over here. I haven't really thought about it too much, but I need to start thinking about it. So again, let me grab that stick. So I would probably put an outlet here. On this side. All right, make my outlet symbol. And then one over here. So it roughly looks symmetrical. So that's the second one in. I might do the same thing over here. Stud, 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 stud. Second one in. I'd probably do the same thing here. Because later on, if there's no furniture, it's going to look more symmetrical. And I want that outlet there. That's the outlet symbol. So if you look at it, it'd be fairly well symmetrical, outlet, outlet. And then one for the TV. I'm not sure about this closet door. If you look over here, Ian, this closet. There's a closet right here. It's going to be right here, door. Which way is the door swing? Most likely in. But if we don't know, we can go over here and check the print. Check this out right here. This is what we're looking at. So the door swings in. So we're not going to be behind any doors or anything like that. And look at, this is where it shows us to put the outlets. The computer program automatically generates where to put them. But we can always add more. We can always move them left or right or do them whatever. It doesn't have to be exact. It even says the TV there. So chances are pretty good I'm probably going to put the TV outlet up there as well. Outlet here, outlet there, outlet there. Probably exactly the way it shows. It looks like it's pretty good spacing. So let's go ahead and finish that. Back. So we decided to put the TV box at 6 feet. Most likely any TV. That'll be high enough. We can have a dresser underneath still and still be able to have a TV, and it'll hide the outlet, mounting the TV there. But we have to finish boxing out this room. That's the closet. I'm not too worried about that other than a switch. I got to get a switch in somewhere. This is a pocket door. So this door when it's closed is okay, but when you open it, the whole door has to slide into this space. So we can't have any outlets in this wall. So don't have to worry about an outlet there, but I do need to have a switch or two. I don't think I can even put a switch in here because it might interfere with the door. So instead of putting any switches on the inside there, or inside wall there, because I don't want to mess up with the shelves and stuff. I could always put one here. So you got to open the door, have your switches here for the light, one for the attic access. So the same thing. Here's where that 48 comes into handy. So I'm going to measure 48 here from my stick. And I plan on putting a 2-gang switch here. So how you write that on here is SS, switch, switch. So that means I need a 2-gang switch box here. Okay. If there was going to be a 3-way where you control the fans, you'd put S3 for a 3-way and then a regular S if you had another switch that wasn't a 3-way. If that was 4-way, you'd put a 4. So it's for the helper that's helping you. But if it's for you, you want to put a 2-gang there, you got somebody helping you, switch, switch. That's what that means. Okay. If it was switch outlet, it'd be switch and then an outlet symbol. Okay, let's continue marking this room. Breaking the door in the wall. So this is over 2 feet, but it doesn't matter. We're going 6 feet. We can't have an outlet further than 6 feet. So it would have to be like under this window, no further, which to me kind of sucks. I don't really want an outlet under the window unless I'm going to have Christmas lights and have that little candle that you can plug in for a Christmas light or something like that. That's okay, but I'm not really down for that. So for me, I think it's better. We'll put one outlet here. So if in case you put some sort of little desk here, a little stand or a little something, we have an outlet. And then I definitely want one on each side of the bed, evenly spaced. I don't like having, I'm not a fan of having outlets behind the bed and then the outlets are getting crushed because the cord is pressed up against the wall, and then you're going to have all kinds of problems with the outlet and the electrical. So I'm not a fan of having an outlet right behind the bed. So I'm going to put one here. Like I said, I can always put more. Get my stick. How's my stick? Okay. Put my stick. Standard height, 18 inches. And I could use a level, laser level, set it for 18 inches and go around the room. People are like, oh, that'd be easier. How about this? I don't have to set it up. I just make a line on it and then off I go. So one there. Probably going to have another outlet here, which is definitely within 12 feet of the other outlet. So this is okay. Make a line here. Oop, I want it on that side. Outlet. Okay, and to make it kind of even, it's about a foot away from that window. We'll probably do the same thing over here. Just for aesthetics and functionality. I know this is within 12 feet. I don't even have to measure it. It's within 12 feet of that outlet easily. Okay, I want it on that side. I want it to be an outlet. Okay. Got one there. And then this may or may not be within 6 feet of the door. Okay, there's about 30 inches there. So yeah, it doesn't, this one wouldn't make it within the 6 feet, so I have to have another one there, which I'm totally okay with that. It almost mirrors the one on the other side. So I'm totally fine with having another outlet here. Like again, if I said we had a dresser or some other thing, it's okay. Most likely, if it's another nightstand, it would be here. So where would I get more use? Here. You can probably see this outlet if you enter the room. This one, if I had a little nightstand or a dresser and I had it plugged in, it'd be behind it. So kind of torn. But to make it symmetrical, I think I will do the one here. Yep, I'll do the one here. Another outlet. This is not difficult to do. It's just time consuming, especially if you have a lot of them. And also I got to take into consideration, we decided this opening here, if you take a look at this opening, we were offered French doors, but I don't like the security of French doors. Plus, you can't leave one open and have a screen as far as I know. I'd like to leave it open sometime when it's nice out. The slider offers a screen. So the fixed part of the slider that doesn't move, there's one side that opens and then the other side's always closed. That's considered wall space. So if I am measuring from my outlet here, my 6 foot, I have to take half of this door opening, all right, about 6 feet, a little over 6 feet, and I have to measure 3 feet. If the door is stationary on this side, I have to use this. I have to use this 3 feet and then add the other 3 feet for my 6 feet. So this one's going to count within my 6 feet. So I believe this side is going to stay closed and this side is going to open. We can leave it open on this side. But we can verify with the, oh no you can't. Yeah, we can, right here. It shows on the drawing. So this already shows a slider being there, which is kind of funny. And you see how it's thicker on one side? This side's really thick. That's the stationary side. This side is going to open this way. So they already assume that way anyway. So this is included in your wall spacing as part of your 6 feet. This doesn't move. This one does. Good? Okay, so if you're looking at a set of plans like I am, you got to check the scale. You may have to measure something like this vanity. It's going to be a very small vanity. On my tape measure here, it equals about 3/4 of an inch from the wall to the edge of this. If you look here, the scale says 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. So 1/4 inch on my tape measure in the real world is going to equal 1 foot. Okay, so what if I want to mark where this light's going to go? It says there's a little light symbol here. Okay, so I know by measuring off the wall there, and I look at my tape measure, we're at 3/4. That means 3 feet. This vanity is 3 feet. If I want to put a wire right in the middle, I need to cut that 3 feet in half. So this is the bathroom, or proposed bathroom. Taking that from paper to the real world. That vanity is going to go all the way up to here, up to this piece of wood. Okay, in the real world. If I want a light fixture and I have to put it dead center, it has to be at 18 inches. It's going to be over here somewhere. Okay, so most likely what I would end up doing is I would put my switch leg down the wall, stapled right here, and then have it sticking out right here somewhere so I can mount later. And after drywall box, an old work box to hang whatever light fixture I decide to hang. I could nail onto this, but I'm going to be off center. The 4-inch round box is going to go to the end of this, so I'd be off. If I put a 4-inch nail-on box and I was really picky about being center, I'd be off by 2 inches. So I want my center to be there, and I can't screw to this. This is the outside wall. So better that I just leave a wire, and then after they do the drywall, I'll measure again off the wall, get my cut-in box and make that exactly where I want it, which is going to be about 80 inches up there somewhere. And then put my cut-in box, unless it's a light fixture that's really heavy, but probably won't be, and then put my light fixture up there, like that. So, but typically, yes, light fixtures in the bathroom above the vanity are about 80 inches, and I don't normally mark this on a stick. So way up here is typically where you're going to find your light fixtures. Okay, so my wire will be stubbing out over here, put 4 inches this way. And the symbol for this is a circle with a line, a line, a line, and a line. That's the symbol for a light, just a light box. Okay, so if somebody was to do that, it'd be simple like that. A circle with 4 little lines. We're also going to need, it's required to have a GFI in here. I can either put the GFI here in the little bit of space right here. You can plug in your electric toothbrush or whatever. Or I could have one over here, but it can't be over the toilet. And this is a very small bathroom. So I will probably, because there's one 2x4 here, I don't want it too close to the wall. Same thing. If I put an outlet box over here, let me show you. You can always cut it. This is only 1.5 inches off the wall. Somebody's going to be adding a 1/2 inch worth of drywall. It's going to be really close to the wall. I don't want it really close to the wall. It's hard to work on. It's hard for anybody to use it. So I'm going to cut a piece of wood or find a piece of wood at 48 inches. A little piece. Let me get my stick. Clear this out. So I'm going to mark 48 inches on here. Okay. Yep. And I want to mark this receptacle. And it's going to be GFI, GFCI. But I want to scab on a piece of wood over here. I can easily find one. You can pause it. Okay. All right, so on site, I found a piece of wood. It's already cut. I just need to scab it on here so it's not so close to the wall. Once they add the drywall, they're taking a 1/2 inch, and then I only have 1 inch to work with here. I'd rather have it further off the wall. Found this on the job site. I found the nails on the job site. They were bent. I just kind of moved the nails around and hit them on here on this concrete block and straighten them out a little bit. So hopefully they work. I want to put it a little bit above where I'm going to be nailing the outlet box. Keep it flat with the wall. And that's not going to work. It's too crooked. You can pause. Okay, we got another piece of wood and the nails straightened out. This one, we want to make sure it's flush with both sides. I know, I should get it in with one hit. I know. And I think it's okay. There. Now we'll remeasure. For my 48. That's going to be my GFI. Good. And then we have to talk about the cubic inches of these electrical boxes too. The deeper ones will say 22.5 inside. I don't know if you can see in there, I doubt it, but it'll say 22.5 way on the inside, cubic inches. That's important when it comes to wiring where you're going to put a GFI, because the GFIs typically are a lot thicker and take up more box space than a regular outlet. So you want to make sure you use a 22.5, not a 16 or an 18. That'll give you more room, but it's almost all the way outside the other side of the wall. So you want to hang this at your 48 mark. Okay, and that's my first box hanging in this house, this part of the house. And I want to show you another feature about these boxes. When you line it up, when you're going to put it on the wall like that, take a zoom in on this again. I don't know if you can see these little standoffs here. Can you see that? You want to make sure that is all the way up against the wood like that. This is 1/2 inch. So once you get that nailed on with that like that up against the stud, and they put the drywall will be perfectly flush with this once they cut the drywall around this box. You don't want it flat, because then your box is going to be behind the drywall. You want to use that standoff there. That's why it's there. And then nail it on, just like we did here. It's a 1/2 inch off the wall. So that's going to be perfect. Just step. Okay, so again, like I said, this is a single 2x4. I don't want to have a switch too close, because if the wiring, the molding around the door is possibly going to go over my switch. So I did another scab. We put our switch. It's a 3-gang. It seems it's a nail on, so it seems nice and strong. And I marked it over here, SSS. So whoever follows me up, if it's not me, it's going to be a switch for the vanity, a switch for the fart fan, what we call it, a fart fan, exhaust fan, and then another switch here be for the fan or the light over the shower. I plan on having a light over the shower, maybe 2 lights. That's for that. If this was a 4-gang or something really long, and it was flimsy, I was concerned about this box pushing into the wall. I don't know how many people experience that. These later on, when you go to put switches in later, that keeps falling into the wall. You can support it by taking a straight edge like this, go in the back, and then measure between here and here, take that measurement, cut a piece of 2x4. You take this measurement, cut a piece of 2x4, screw the 2x4 on here. Don't make it any longer than this. Then once they put the drywall on, this will be the back of the drywall, and it'll be really hard to move this box at all because it'll be right up against the drywall, if you see what I'm saying. Because sometimes the boxes don't hold too well. This is an additional support that you can either do what I just said by adding a piece of 2x4, or you could actually use this side to mount it over here if you wanted to screw it in or flip it around. But yeah, this is not going anywhere. I'm not worried about adding a piece of 2x4. Got it. Hey guys, here's an update on the boxing out process. You've only seen over there in the bathroom, we were measuring it, scabbing it out. We went ahead and measured everything and put all the boxes and wired everything. See, within 6 feet, that's 5 feet 2 inches, and then it's got to be within 12 feet of each other. Look at this one right here, it's only 6 feet. I put a lot of additional outlets in here because it's my house. Minimum code says they only have to be 12 feet apart, but I put more outlets than were necessary, some sconce lights. You can see if you want to follow me in here. We were talking about where the window, where the outlets might end up. They did end up under the window. I didn't really want it there. But when I measured the bed that I wanted, it's going to be really wide, and I don't want the outlets under the bed, behind the bed, I mean, because they're just going to get damaged from the headboard. So if you pan around this room, you can look at all the electrical, all the switches. Look at the outlets on the bottom. This one, we were debating where we're going to put this. We're wondering where we're going to put this because there's a pocket door going here. We couldn't put it there, so we put it outside the door. Door is going to swing this way. Switch for the lights inside here, and switch also for the attic lights. So this is completely all boxed out. If you just wanted to pan around and look, you can see we got an outlet here, that minimum 2 feet that I was talking about. We had to have one here. We have lights and fan out there. Smoke detectors that are required. If you go up, there's one smoke there. There's a smoke over here that's required. All this is just for a serving station. And then minimum code for all the outlets around the room. Ceiling fans. And you don't see the recess cans. The recess cans are these boxes here that you'll see later. Can you get on this side? Get on this side of the beam. This is where the recess cans are going to go. There's the little wire that's going to connect to the recess can once we get it out, but we have these all wired in already. It's going to be pretty cool. So all the wiring is complete. The boxing out has been done. The boxes are in place. The wires are in place. And pretty much this is ready for inspection as far as electrically speaking. Yeah, we'll see you on the next one. We'll have another video out here. I believe it's not boxing out, but we'll probably have 3-ways and 4-way as far as electrical when I wired this box up. I just did this video today. This is a 4-way box. There's 3-way boxes. Yeah, we did a lot of electrical here. I just got to get caught up on making all the videos. So thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one.